What's up, everybody? I'm the Mana Dork. I don't have a catchphrase, but what I do have is another standard 8 rare deck for you. And today we're playing mounts with a little bit of a +1/+1 counters sub theme. Going to try and see if the new mounts hold enough weight to pull the mechanic out of a draft only level and up to something we can reasonably play in constructed. So we'll start with our creatures. 3 Veteran Survivor. He's got the survival ability, so we're going to get a benefit out of him after we use him to saddle a mount. Got 4 District Mascot from the new set. Green for a 0/0 dog mount that comes into play with a +1/+1 counter on it. We can pay 1 in a green to remove 2 +1/+1 counters from it to destroy target artifact. And whenever it attacks while saddled, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. And he saddles for 1. We got 3 copies of Gloryheath Lynx. 1 in a white for a 2/3 cat mount with lifelink. Saddles for 2. And whenever it attacks while saddled, search our library for a basic plains, reveal it, put it in our hand. You got 4 Botanical Brawlers. Not a mount, but has a lot of synergy with the Mascot's +1/+1 counters and some other +1/+1 counters that we'll get to in a minute. Speaking of which, 3 copies of Lagorin, Soul of Alacria. Green-white for a 1/1 beast mount. It's got flying, it saddles for 1, and whenever it attacks while saddled, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts and or vehicles. You got 3 copies of Miriam Herd Whisperer. 2 mana 3/2 is great to begin with. Gives our mounts hexproof during our turn. And whenever one of our mounts attacks, or vehicles, we don't have vehicles, but our mounts or vehicles, whenever they attack, she puts a +1/+1 counter on it. You got 2 copies of Inspiring Paladin. 2 in a white for 3/3. During our turn, it has first strike. And also during our turn, any creatures we have with +1/+1 counters on them have first strike. You got 3 copies of Ornery Tumblewagg. He's going to hand out a bunch more counters. You got 3 copies of Congregation Gryff. So we've got a little flying in here, a little lifelink to gain life if we need. 2 copies of Veteran Beastrider. 1 green-white for a 3/4 human knight. At the beginning of our end step, untap each creature we control. This is going to let us swing in with our mounts and have them back up and ready to block, as well as whoever saddled them will be back up and ready to block. In addition, we can pay 2 a green and a white, and creatures we control get +1/+1 till end of turn. Last creature is 2 copies of Savior of the Small, 3 and a white for 3/4 with a survival trigger that returns a creature card with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard to hand. So this is going to let us recover every other creature in the deck should they get hit by a removal spell. Hopefully they won't, and if they do, we've got 3 copies of Snakeskin Veil as our only non-creature spell. Give a hexproof until end of turn, as well as give a +1/+1 counter, so it's going to fit into the rest of the synergies of the deck. 12 plains, 12 forests to fuel it all, and that's the deck. All right, I'm going to go find an opponent. That'll give you a chance to find the like and subscribe, and I'll see you over there. We can keep this. Hopefully draw a 2-drop and we can curve out a bit. Tiny bones. Actually, no, we won't saddle. We'll just attack with 1. If they block, they block. If they don't, we've got 1 back to block with their counterattack. That is not the case today. There's a miner and another tiny bones. All their bones are tiny. block again, which is fine. So we've got the Savior to start recurring our mascots. There's an automaton. Counter on you. And 2 more counters on you. Grab back one of these mascots. They come over for a bunch. There's a conscript. Another miner. And a nightmare. And discard you. I don't know if that's the right choice. Make a brawler. Make a mascot. Brawler gets bigger. Put a counter there just because we can. Well, because, not just because we can, but because it'll give us another trigger for the brawler. Come over for 10. Get our little boy back. End the turn. Opponent's season a way out. Gotta send that one back. Much better. Tuck you. Lagorin. Lose a Lagorin. Searching our soul and our hand. Make a brawler. Hexproof it. See if we can put a counter on this Lynx. I said put a counter on this Lynx. I said just attack with the brawler. Brawler's back in our hand. Counter on the Paladin. We'll keep that there. Come over for 7. End the turn. Flotsam, get a clue, Ketchamoose, Caramel Moose, whatever his name is, and a Ghost Vacuum into the bin. Jetsmust, mill us a couple, and then steal a card. I'm going to cast the Lynx. Counter, counter. Send everything. Got him down to 6. A moment of truth. And what did they find? Alright, the Legion to Ashes that guy. Second Brawler. Do a little cultural exchange of counters there. Got him at 1. Now we just need to top deck a gut shot, and we're in good shape. Helping hand, but doesn't help enough. Sending that one back. That looks much better. I think we're going to get rid of the Gryff. Mascot. Brawler. Saddle. Give him for 3. Grow our Brawler. Or get him for 2, rather. And grow our Brawler. Opponent is thinking. Lucrinos. One of these will get through. Lucrinos is pretty big, though. It's going to take us a moment to get there. Might have been foolhardy to rush in with the Brawler. See what they got here. More Land of Wars. Get ourselves another Brawler. And we will hold our position. Their deck looks very tall, but no, it's just a normal 60. And they are building up a collection of creatures quicker than we are. Another one of those. Hold back. It was tempting to run it in to grab another plains, but I've already done one foolhardy thing this game. Quarian Beatcaller. Bristlebud Farmer. They are certainly out-creaturing us. No blocks. Maybe I could top deck a Swamp and a Parish. Well, that might do something in a moment. No good blocks for us. Apply a little vigor. Yep. We got outclassed by what size dudes they had. This looks keepable. Survivor to start. We'll swing in. Nothing to exile, but we'll make a brawler. Got a hair. Tumblewagg. Counter there. Puts a counter on the brawler. And that will attack. Putting them at 15. Caretaker's Talent, sure thing. Saddle that. Counter over here. Double the counters. That's 17 coming at him. We'll try it. We're a little bit light on green mana. A little light on humans now. Let's try this Lynx. green source. Nope, he needs 2. Attack. We'll find ourselves a land. We are going to pass. We don't want to eat our own guy because we might want him back with the Savior. Alright, so what do we do here? How do we proceed? No attacks. Get back Lagorin. Pass it back. What is the right call here? I think it's that guy. Saddle, don't attack. Get back our survivor. They crack their bauble into simulacrum synthesizer. Not what I expected. I assumed they were more of a Dimir self-bounce deck that had gotten a bad draw. Monic Junker. Take out that guy. And crew with that. He's going to put a counter on himself. We'll send everybody. Find a plains. Then whoever he blocks, we will get back. Exile your network. Exile your glyph. Get back a Lynx. Replay the Lynx. Pass it back. Right, they network for a couple. Get our brawler. Crew that thing. Crew that thing twice. Saddle. I'm sorry. Saddle. Send both of those. Double the counters on him. Get a land. Exile you. Exile you. Get you back. And maybe someday we'll draw a forest and be able to play 2 spells a turn. Opponent seems to have run out of artifacts. We recurred enough to weather the storm. And that's the deck. Performed okay. We wound up with a 6-5 record. Start with the good. It did a really good job of getting Mascot up to a 3-3 when it was attacking on turn 2. Either from the Brawler or the Miriam. The Savior of the Small worked very well. The Inspiring Paladin worked fairly well. We didn't really draw the Beastrider, so I'm not sure how well to regard that. Ditto for the Gryff. We never really had a chance to use him, so I'm not sure if he's earned his spot. The big issues that I did notice is we had a little trouble with mana. Since we want untapped for turn 1 to make our 1-drops, we're playing just basics. But that makes it sometimes difficult to hit 2 colors on turn 2. So that's something that we need to reconsider. If we, up the rare number on this, the first thing I would do is add some multi-lands. The other thing that I noticed is that we had a few positions where we were at a loss from not having any removal spells. So perhaps that's what happens with the Congregation Gryff, is he becomes perhaps a Destroy Evil, perhaps a Case of the Gateway Express, because we do get a fair number of creatures out early. So it's definitely better than mounts used to perform, but still not something I would take onto the ladder. If you're still here, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out and watch me play some games. Feel free to leave a comment if you like what you saw, or if there's anything you'd like to see me do differently. Don't forget to like the subscribe and button the smash, or whatever it is you do to show that you appreciate the video. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.